What's up, guys? Danrib here, and we are back with SmashPad's top 10 games of 2025. And we're here with number 4, Split Fiction. Alright? Now, 2025 has been a fantastic year, and don't get me wrong. I'm glad we have Split Fiction on the list, and I'm glad we have it in the top 5, but I feel like it should have gotten, you know, much more respect from so many other publications there on the internet. And you know what? I don't care anymore. I am gonna spoil some stuff. I'm not gonna spoil any of the story. You can just go ahead and try to figure things out from here. But look, this is why this game scored highly with me. All right, this is the last level. All right, if you've played any of Hazelight's games, you know that the games are two players and they're only two players. You can't play it alone. And this level is really, just the full on definition for what, this title actually is. Like this is full on split fiction here. You have Mio who focuses on sci-fi stories, and you have the other character's name escapes me right now, but she focuses on fantasy. And you eventually go through all their worlds, and eventually they collide into what becomes this. So as you can see here, this is very intricate level design, and it's not even half. It's just split in a weird way, and you want to be able to manipulate the camera in such a way where you can see enough of it to just be able to make your way through the level. And they're very, very different. The fantasy water and all of a sudden the sci-fi lasers, it's just amazing. I don't know how they were able to do this with this much polish, and I just feel like a lot of the credit that didn't go to the game was primarily due to the fact that It Takes Two. Don't get me wrong, It Takes Two was fantastic. It was my personal game of the year in 2021. But when I got through this level, I was like, okay, this is just in a class of its own. You have uh, Nintendo style platforming here, but with the creativity that is just utterly tremendous. So you're seeing here that the shells are also like spiky electric spheres in the sci-fi world. And yeah, like this stuff, I'm not going to pretend to be a game designer, but this could not have been easy in any situation. And while Hazelight is, probably going to continue to focus on these cooperative multiplayer platforming adventures that, twist and redefine genres, unless Split Fiction has a direct sequel, I don't really see a way that they try to incorporate this kind of gameplay level design ever again. And again, like, you really have to earn your way here. This is the last level of the game. And I feel like if more people actually finished it and got here, they'd have a higher appreciation for what this is. I've never been this amazed with a game since I used the Ascend ability in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I know, Baldur's Gate was the game of the year in 2023, but I really think Ascend was just something like unexplainable as far as game development goes. And again, like I'm not a developer, but if I was someone testing it and I do have some experience in QA, like I probably, hate my job just because of how much detail you'd have to go through in order to pull that off. And look at this, you have some parts of the level that are being split out, that are being portaled in. You have those ladybugs there, you have the grinder there, you have these raindrops going into that lava oblivion there, you have that purple portal. A lot of stuff is going on here, and it all leads to certain death, and you have to find a way to stay on one. All right, and it all just pops up again. It's just really intense how you're able to make this work, and it's 100% responsive to everything that your controller is doing, and you just have to follow along with it. Kudos to Joseph Ferris and his team for pulling this off. This is just utterly amazing, and yeah, I don't want to talk too much about what we're seeing. This is eventually going to turn into a boss battle. If anything, this is probably the most spoilery thing here because you see who the end boss actually is. But, you know, the story isn't this game's strong point anyway. Um, and yeah, let's just continue to enjoy what we're seeing here.
Meet your maker.
The glitch!
I'm a god here. No glitch will save you now.
Let's go! Bring it on!
So again, this is boss battle time. Eventually he just throws you out and it becomes another platforming segment. But yeah, we just changed arenas now and all of a sudden it's become a third-person shooter, if you will. But, you know, I don't want to show too much of that. Let me just go ahead and jump into one of the side stories in the game. And again, if you've played It Takes Two, like, one of the reasons why I love that game so much is the way it blends different genres in and doesn't sacrifice much as far as quality. Like, that game had a sci-fi shooter. That game had a fighting game. That game had a third-person dungeon crawler, and it all worked and felt like the genres it was supposed to be in. So here is an example of something that Zoe is her name, the one who focuses on fantasy. When she was a kid, she wrote a story about pigs, and this is what happened in that story. Alright. So, Zoe can turn into a pig Slinky. And, Mio has a flying fart ability. So, she can jump, and all of a sudden, she farts rainbows and floats throughout the screen. For context, I'm the one on the left, and my brother's the one on the right. You know, and what you want to do in the various sections of this side story or this level is to just like be able to feed these pig doors so that the doors can open. I'm waiting for my brother to find his apple so we can just go ahead and move on to the next section. All right. He's seeing like pigs fly in his little dream there. He's still having trouble finding that. Oh, there's the green apple. He sees it. So he's going to go ahead and grab this apple. Jump down because there's no fall damage. And here we are.
Choose apples.
This side story is wild, Zoe. Oh, relax, city girl. Have fun. Get muddy.
I'm hungry.
Oh, what a mean tomato.
So yeah, again, this is like a recreation of what Zoe has seen in a dream about pigs. And yeah, here's the pigs farting and stuff like that. And I think a turd literally just fell, but you know, it is what it is, and we're just gonna use these bubbles to float up in the air and get these apples so that we can go ahead and go on to this next section. But yeah, after a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the end of this side story, just so you can see the wackiness that really happens in the mind of a Hazelight studio.
I think I could get used to being
Just
a
watch
pig,
this.
actually.
Just watch this.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, go slide. Yep, here we go. Woo!
Okay, that was a little violent, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about this.
What the hell, Zoe? What? Oh God! I know. Let's just end this. Yeah, why don't I just grill myself, hmm? Hot, 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 hot. Ooh, I'm grilled to perfection. Oh, hot. Oh, kind of nice, but ouch! I'm beautifully cooked. Ooh. Hey, I've overcooked myself. Man, I need ketchup on me.
So the puzzle isn't complete until both the hot dogs have condiments. There's a reason for this. Just go ahead and watch. But yeah, this is Split Fiction, and this is the reason why it should have gone higher. This game is absolutely insane, and I am all for it. And I just cannot wait until Hazelight's next masterpiece, because everything they do is a banger. But yeah. That's about it, and hope you're looking forward to seeing the rest of our top 10 videos. Have a good one, y'all.